Today on Our Space, Maddie, who woke up one day thinking he'd scroll spicy videos and instead had to deliver a career-ending TED Talk in a parked car. Truly, no one prepares you for the sentence, "Hey man, I think that's your wife." A fair partner leaked a video of him and my wife. I used that to destroy her in court and take everything. I, 29 male, made the biggest mistake of my life when I decided to marry Sylvia, 29 female. I really thought that I had everything figured out. I thought that I had the love of my life, and there was so little for me to worry about, but I was so wrong. I couldn't have been more wrong. I'm trying not to be emotional, but it is so hard for me. My heart is broken. I didn't do anything to deserve any of this. I'm still trying to figure out how to cope with this because I feel depressed and I don't think there's anything I can do to feel better. Not anytime soon. I'll get into how everything went down, but my wife cheated on me. I wouldn't have known if not for the fact that the person she slept with was the kind of idiot who posts private videos like that on the internet. He didn't bother to hide her face. It is so obviously her. We've been married for just about 2 years? How does everything fall apart in such a horrible way when we've barely even been together? 2 years of marriage shouldn't even count. I dated her for 5 years, so you can't even tell me that I didn't spend enough time getting to know her. If there's something I missed, then fine, but I was careful. I was looking for red flags. I didn't see any. It really hurts me. I found out through a friend. If not for him, I would have still been cuddling and kissing the woman who didn't even waste time before she decided to crap on the life that we were trying to build together. If we had been married for 20 years, I'd be able to convince myself to understand. But only 2 years? I keep asking myself what I could have done wrong and what I could have done better. But honestly, I can't think of a single thing that would have made things any better for me. This guy called me up on a random day to ask if I was at home. We're super close, so it wasn't a big deal for him to come over to our house. But he told me that it was something serious and he didn't give me any hints. So naturally, I spent the time before he arrived worrying about him. I assumed it had to do with him because there was no way he was going to give me worrying info about my own life. I kept thinking about cancer because that was the worst outcome that came to mind. It seems so silly now that I know what he wanted to talk about. When he came to my house, he said hi to my wife, and we did all the typical small talk. Then he said he wanted to show me something in his car, but I knew that he just wanted to get me away from Sylvia so that we could talk about whatever he wanted to talk about. It wouldn't be the first time he'd used that kind of tactic. We sat inside of his car, and he was so serious that I really did think that he was about to tell me that he had cancer. He let me know that it had to do with Sylvia, and as soon as he said that, my heart started pounding. I knew that it couldn't be anything good. My friend Maddie is a good guy. Looking back, I feel sorry for him, because it was so clear how little he wanted to tell me what he had come in there for. I was really wondering what he was going to say when he led by talking about how he likes to watch spicy videos on Twitter and Telegram. He's a good guy, so let's not dwell on that part of things. Most of us do it, we just have different sources. He struggled to say the next part, and as much as I had already put 2 and 2 together, it was almost impossible for me to believe the conclusion that I had reached. Sadly, it was exactly what I thought. He told me that he had been watching something and he could have sworn that it was Sylvia in the video. He said that he was like 90% sure and he really didn't know if it was worth telling me, but he didn't want to take the chance by not telling me, especially if it was her. He said it was an amateur video, not anything professional, no fancy cameras. It was just some guy lying on his bed and taking a video of the woman who was pleasuring him. I could tell that he didn't want to show me the video, but I eventually pushed him to just do it. I let him know that I'd be fine in the end. It was her. The video itself was like 2 minutes long, but I didn't need to watch more than 5 seconds to be 100% sure that it was her. It was either her or the most incredible doppelganger in the world, and I saw a little mole on her upper lip, so I knew that it had to be Sylvia. I really tried to keep my cool around Maddie, but man, I don't know how to explain what it felt like in that moment. It was like all the hopes and dreams that I'd spent my life building all suddenly evaporated, and I realized how helpless I was in the whole thing. I couldn't have stopped her from cheating. I knew that because as much as I have my flaws, I've never done anything less than give her my all as a husband. I've always put my everything into it. I know I'm not perfect, but I never thought that I was so deficient that I deserved to be cheated on. Never. It was crazy asking him to send me the video link, but I had to. I couldn't watch more than that little bit that I did beside him, but later that day I forced myself to watch the whole thing. Anyway, I had to thank him, and I really meant it. He told me not to do anything crazy, and I'm glad that he did. I don't think I would have, but it was nice to know that someone cared about me in that moment like that, because you don't recognize how quickly your mind can go left. He eventually left, telling me that he was going to check in on me later that day, and he did, which is again something I'm very thankful for. It's funny that I had so much pent-up emotion, but I chose not to confront Sylvia. I walked back into the house like nothing that had happened. It was so ridiculous putting on an act, but I do genuinely believe that if I had had to confront her at that point, I wouldn't have been able to control what I did. My mind wasn't in the right spot at all. Writing about this has helped me calm down and let me channel the emotions that I have into one direction. I don't know how I'm going to handle facing her, because the moment that I do, everything instantly becomes real. And I'll be honest and tell you that I'm scared of that. Maybe that's not macho the way a lot of people would want me to be, but I can't help it. I loved Sylvia deeply, and this feels like it might be the crappiest possible way for things to end. I'd have preferred her just telling me that there's someone else, because now I found out that there's someone else, and I have to go through the horror of finding out that it was recorded. She probably has no idea. At least I'm glad about that, because when she finds out, it's going to crush her, and I hope it hurts. I'm going to figure out how to proceed with my life, but for now, I'm struggling to see the way forward once I divorce her. I know I haven't been married to her for that long, but she's been part of my life for ages. It's going to be so hard getting used to a new life. Enough whining for me anyway. I'm going to do my best to move forward now that I've gotten my sissy crap out of the way. Update. There are some hard moments in life that you just have to close your eyes and charge through, or you're never going to move forward. Divorcing Sylvia was one of those moments in my life. I didn't want to do it, not because I still wanted to be with her, but because I simply wasn't ready for the change. I knew I had to do it, but I was so scared of a future where everything was going to be so different. I grew the balls and just charged straight into it without too much overthinking. I sat her down one day and asked her whether she would ever cheat on me. She immediately said no, but after she said that, it looked like she was thinking for a little bit. I asked her if she was sure, and that time, she hesitated before she said no again. I asked her one last time, and instead of answering, she asked why I kept pressing her. "Is there something you want to say? Maybe just say it?" I told her that I knew she had cheated on me. She immediately denied it and said if I was convinced of that, it had to be a big misunderstanding. She asked me to state my facts because she was sure that she'd be able to show me that I had it all wrong. I assured her that what I knew couldn't be denied, but she really wanted to gaslight me, so I pulled out my phone and I showed her the video. I saw her shock when she watched it and recognized herself, but she didn't say anything. Halfway through, she told me that it was enough because it wasn't her. She acknowledged that the person in the video looked like her, but she said it clearly wasn't her. I laughed at that. I had watched the video probably 5 times just to be sure that it was her, and I knew that it was a stupid excuse that she was making. I pointed out the mole on the person's lip, and I pointed out the one on hers. Stupidly, she still claimed that it wasn't her, and I shook my head. I didn't need her to acknowledge it. She knew the truth and I knew it too, even if she didn't admit it in front of me. It didn't change anything. I told her as much. She didn't need to confirm it was her because I knew it was her. I let her know that we were going to get divorced. She flared up and she repeated over and over that it wasn't her. She told me it was stupid to get divorced if it wasn't her. I didn't bother answering her. I've always thought the "it's not what it looks like" angle is one of the dumbest ones to take. But in that moment, I realized how much better it is to take that kind of angle instead of continually denying that you cheated. I walked out on her because I was so annoyed. She tried to talk to me multiple times that day, but I just acted like she was invisible. The next day, she was served with the divorce papers. I had already talked to a lawyer even before the confrontation happened. She was very upset, and that was the first point when she seemed to realize that honesty might have been the best policy. She still wasn't completely honest. She admitted it was her after so much denial. She claimed that it was just some guy she met when she went out with her friends and he was cool. She made the mistake of following him back to his house, even though, by her account, she didn't plan to do anything with him. I'm not a fool enough to have believed that. She said they were just meant to hang out, but he got really aggressive. She wanted to leave, but he stopped her, so she slept with him because it seemed like the lesser risk. But she had no idea that he had recorded her. I let her know that I didn't believe her for a second. First off, because of how much she had denied that it was her in the first place. The second was because, as her husband, that was the kind of thing that she should have told me. There was no reason for her to keep that to herself. We could have figured out what to do about the guy, and it would have made it easier for me to believe her. That was the story she chose to stick with until the end. I guess because she couldn't be caught lying yet again, and because it was the story she thought it would make her most pitiable. It didn't work for me, not at all. Before the actual divorce started, she did her best to beg me to call it off. She said that it was a single mistake that she had made, and she acknowledged how much she had messed up. But despite how bad it made her look, I still meant the world to her, and she didn't want us to lose the special thing we had. I find it funny how after that, someone could still think that what we had was special. She had ruined what was there. It couldn't ever be special again. All of the pleading got very irritating. so I eventually had to tell her not to contact me anymore. At least, not until the divorce proceedings started. Of course, she didn't abide by that, so I instructed her to contact me through my lawyer, and then I blocked her. I was the one who moved out of the apartment because she refused to. She kept trying to make things work, even though it should have been obvious that there was nothing left for us. When the divorce started, I hoped that she was going to be agreeable and we'd agree on a sensible split for the things that we owned. She started off as if she was ready to work with me, but the next thing I knew, her requests became very unreasonable, and we ended up needing to have a judge decide everything. The good thing is that it worked in my favor. She would have gotten away with more if she had just chosen to act like a normal person. I had the video as evidence to back up my claim of infidelity. Everyone saw the resemblance between her and the person in the video, which makes me even angrier that she thought I was stupid enough to try to fool. We were married for such a short time that the judge chose to waive the alimony entirely, especially because she worked an okay job and she had fault in the split. I moved out of the apartment, so I wasn't surprised that it went to her. When our savings were split in two, I got a little bit more of the money though, to help me set up somewhere else. Her lawyer fought that, especially the alimony, trying to get her something, even if she got it, it wouldn't last a long time at all. The judge wasn't having it though, and the joy it gave me was so much. We're not rich people, so there really wasn't that much money for us to cut in half. I've always been more financially sensible than her, and I knew it was going to bite her in the butt if she was suddenly living in her apartment alone, while her salary remained the same. I think it was a week after the divorce that one of her friends reached out to me and let me know that Sylvia wasn't doing good at all. She said that she was having anxiety attacks because she was suddenly alone and saddled with so much responsibility. The idea of her asking me for help made her panic, so the friend chose to come and talk to me. It was funny because I didn't know what she wanted me to do. She claimed that she just called so I could check in on her, not to help her with any of her money issues. I hated that even after I had divorced her, I was still being drawn into things because she had ruined our lives by herself. No one had forced her into the man's house. She had gone there knowing what she was going to do, and she was probably more regretful that she hadn't caught him recording her, not that she had actually done it. It's what I hate about people who cheat. They always think they're smart and they'll never get caught. They have all the time in the world to have regret for their choices, but they only ever pull out the regret once the consequences of their actions come for them. I didn't bother reaching out to Sylvia. I didn't have any pity for her and the situation she had put herself in. As horrible as it sounds, even when her friend contacted me again to let me know that it seemed like Sylvia might have been considering ending things, I didn't reach out. I can see some of the comments saying I took it too far with that, but she's still alive, so I guess I didn't. I hate when people use that as an emotional blackmail, and I wasn't going to fold. She eventually called me herself because I had made the mistake of unblocking her in a moment of weakness. She started with a bunch of small talk that I didn't care about, and it showed in my voice. After like 3 minutes of that, she told me that she missed me. She said that she had messed up, and she was still maintaining the story that she hadn't gone to his house with the intent to sleep with him, and she knew that. She wanted me to know that she still loved me, and she'd always be ready to give us another chance. That's nice, was my reply, because even some days after the divorce, I still realized that I loved her, but for now, I've been letting all of that residual love drain away. I want to move on from the kind of woman who only brings you pain. I know there are good women out there, and I hope I find one of them on my next attempt. It's just sad that it doesn't seem like there are that many of them. That's what really frustrates me. I have to search and go through so many horrible experiences before finding a woman who will make for a proper partner. It is what it is, though. I'm now a divorced man, and in some months, I'll be mentally healthy enough to go back into the dating pool. For now, though, I'll learn to heal from the damage that the last one caused. I've been heartbroken before, so all it really takes is time. Quite a bit of it, though, but I guess I have all the time in the world at this point. Denial is a hell of a drug. Also, bonus points for trying to gaslight you while the evidence was literally paused on your phone. The audacity of looking at a mole you've kissed for 5 years and saying, "Coincidence." Ma'am, be serious. And listen, her falling apart afterward, that's not your responsibility. You don't owe emotional aftercare to the person who detonated your life. The anxiety, the money stress, the loneliness, those are the consequences she avoided thinking about when she made her choices. You didn't lose everything, you lost the wrong person. At what point does staying in a relationship stop being love and start being selfish?